this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, a video is trending with the actor and singer Tyrese having a conversation with the lawyer Benjamin Crump, and he is challenging the political system and asking why can't there be some type of a hate bill for Black Americans, since we are the number one, and the FBI verifies this, the number one group of people who are subjected to hate crimes. So I was surprised, because most of the time when you hear from Tyrese, he's whining about his problems with some woman or another. But this time he was really speaking about an issue that Black Americans are speaking about. Why can't we get a bill with our name on it that says, this is a bill that says you can't commit crimes against Black Americans? So I don't know exactly how to say it, anti-hate crime against Black Americans, but that's what it means. You can't go around committing crimes against Black Americans, and if you do, you're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And we are entitled to that kind of bill. We are the number one victims of hate crimes in this country, and have been for the longest. And the question is, why is it so hard for us to get a crime bill, since we are the number one victims of hate crimes, and it is well documented? Why can't we get our own bill with our name on it, naming the people, the Black people in this country who have been victims of hate crimes? Why can't we get that bill? Well, the reason I think we can't is because I think these people have made up their minds that they aren't going to tell what they did to us, because they want to call us a liar. They want to cover up everything they've done and say we are not telling the truth. So I think that that's part of it, but there comes a time when the truth has to come out. I'm going to let you listen to this conversation between these two, and then I'll come back.
President Biden and Kamala Harris signed an Asian hate crime bill, which makes it beyond illegal to ever purposely and maliciously do anything to anybody in the Asian community. And there was a spike in crimes and criminal behavior in and around COVID, allegedly and specifically motivated by Trump. And so everybody started treating Asians, beating them, killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, hurting them. And then he gets into the White House, skips over every Black and brown Mexican and Latino that have been getting killed like flies, and he makes it a law. Asian hate crime bill is signed into law. So whether you're a police officer or a regular civilian, if you wake up on a Wednesday and say, he's Asian, a woman or a man, let's go do something bad to them, which God forbid would ever happen again. But it is a crime bill that was signed into law that protects Asians at all costs. Where is the fucking law to be signed into law when it comes to Black and brown people? Because what you're doing is, President Biden and Kamala Harris, what you're doing is you're saying that Black and brown people will continue to be disposable. That's why we got to vote, and we got to make sure our voices are heard, Tyrese. And it matters when we speak up and speak truth to power. When we speak what's on our heart, we will be heard. But first, you got to have the courage to speak up. And that's why I love you, Tyrese. You speak your heart, and your heart will never fail you.
Being Crump witnessed to what he was saying without giving him an answer to his question. And he doesn't know the answer. Where is that bill for Black Americans? That bill has yet to be written, but I do believe that being Crump told him something very important. You have to speak up. Who speaks up in America now besides being Crump? We have people on the internet talking on the internet, but who's really working? Like when A. Philip Randolph and Bonner Rustin and Roy Wilkins and all of those people worked for black people back in the 60s and the 50s to get legislation passed. But the point was made by one of the content creators, all of that legislation that primarily affected black Americans did not have our name on it. They don't want to put our name on it, and that has to be the next fight. Speaking up matters, and it does matter. We have a lot of celebrities who have big platforms, who have a bully pulpit, and they don't talk about anything but basketball, or they talk about women. But that's a main point that Ben Crump made. We have to speak, and we have to speak our truth. And now I think this is the first time, I honestly believe, this is the first time that black people have ever stood up and said, what are you going to do for us? This is the first time I've heard black people make that statement and really stand on it. What are you going to do for us? And the reality is, in this election cycle, many of us are in a dilemma because you've got two candidates, one of them very undesirable, and then for some of us, both of those candidates are undesirable. Now, I did not want to vote for Joe Biden. I had said I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, and I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. So it leaves me in a dilemma because I am going to vote. I am going to vote. But but it's almost as if we got tricked, because I think many of us thought that Joe Biden would go through this cycle, and then come 2028, we would have a primary season where there would be several candidates, and then that would be time to really negotiate with somebody or really make our voices heard, which we can still do in 2028. But because of the way Joe Biden left the campaign and Kamala was slid in, it makes it difficult. It changed the game. That's all I can say. It changed the game. I believe that black people are on the right track, speaking up and saying, what are you going to do for us? You depend on us to vote for you, and then you do nothing. Don't even listen. So you've got Kamala Harris, who sat there and said she wasn't going to do anything just for black people, and that still resonates with black people. But on the other hand, you got Donald Trump, who is campaigning in sundown towns. Now, there is a white man that came on Twitter. I saw that on my Twitter page, and I was going to do a video about it, but there was so much cussing in the video, I just tabled it. But then I saw another content creator did a video about it. He says he is going up in the Midwest and Northeast into sundown towns, trying to get those white people all gassed up in anger so that if he loses, they will get out here and start something. And who are the number one victims? Black Americans. But that's what he's trying to do. So I couldn't in good faith vote for somebody like that because I know that he is the R word. So I don't know. That puts us in a really bad place. But we have to figure it out. But I think we'll figure it out. And however it goes down is how it's supposed to go down. We just have to navigate the field from there. And we'll be able to do it because now the cards are on the table. Nothing says strength louder than letting people know where you stand and standing there. What does the song say? After you've done all that you can, you just stand. I think it's going to work. We are an important part of this country, but we have been too nice. It just goes back to that. We've been too nice. And now I think the niceness is over. There's a new sheriff in town. There's another whole different kind of black person in town. And so now it's time for them to make their move and take their stand. And I think we will succeed. I'm hopeful that we will. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening, and let me know what you think about the video, and have a good evening.